to you from the Yard Dogs Podcast Studio. A show for the fans, by the fans. Talking all things Cleveland Browns. From our mic to your ears. With your hosts, Jason Hand, Mikey P, and Ian Coltrane Coldiron.
Are you ready for some football?
We're ready for some football, baby.
Yes, you are now in the yard, and welcome to the Yard Dogs Podcast, the show for the fans, by the fans. This is Season 3, Episode 104. I am your host, Jason Hand. The Yard Dogs Podcast is brought to you by Network 216. To check out all of our Ohio sports content, subscribe to Network 216 on our YouTube channel. And joining me tonight, you see them there. They're looking all good over there. We got KF Christian, our special guest of the week, and my co-host, Ian Coltrane Coldiron. Gentlemen, how we doing tonight?
I'm doing great.
Good.
Sorry,
Yeah.
I didn't want to interrupt.
This isn't
Pretty
like
good,
class.
man.
You don't have to raise your hand. You can just talk. Yeah. What's going on, gentlemen? Are we all recovered from this past week, man? That was a pretty rough one.
Listen, I was listening to some radio earlier, and I heard some good stats on Josh Allen and how he's been statistically one of the worst quarterbacks the last 3 weeks. I'm a little fired up.
I like it. KF Christian's fired up. Coltrane, how you doing, bud?
Dude, I'm on suicide watch. Bro. I'm still taking it. I mean, I've been telling a lot of my coworkers, just keep an eye on me for the next few days. I'm just still in a slump, man. I can't lie to you guys, man. I don't think a lot of us predicted the season going how it has been. I think every game, there's so much on the line. There's even more on the line than you believe when you watch the game. And I don't know about y'all. This was the first Sunday that I actually put up the Christmas tree. Like after halftime, when they scored that touchdown right at halftime, I left the game on. Of course, not going to turn it off. I left it on. I started putting up the trees and all the trimmings and all that with my wife. And it's like starting to do honey to-do lists early. It was one of those Sundays that I haven't been that bad since the Hugh Jackson era. I haven't enjoyed a Sunday like that to where I was doing errands early during the Browns game since the Hugh Jackson era. So for me, guys, it's just a lot, man. I mean, you guys know I'm a season ticket holder. I put money into these guys. We buy their memorabilia. I don't want to put a negative aura to start the show, Jason, but you're asking me how I'm feeling. I'm still recovering, man. It's and every loss, I feel like I get a little bit of piece of that heart, torn away. But like I said, I'm doing good. I'm doing all right. Hopefully, they can, make some things happen for Sunday. But right now, guys, I got to be honest. I'm just in that zone now where I'm just mucho disappointed with the Brownos right now, guys. Mucho.
I think me and you are cut from the same cloth, man. Whenever I'm feeling bad, I just start working, and I never rake my leaves before Thanksgiving, but they're raked, man.
Oh,
they are
dude,
all
you went
raked
ahead
and
and
ragged.
Oh man,
Yeah.
Chimney cleaned over there, Jason.
December 1st and 2nd, they're coming. It's scheduled, Coltrane.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
It's scheduled.
Hey, do it all, bro. Get the bathrooms, get that best guest bathroom done. I'm sure you were coming up with stuff Sunday like I was, man. I'm just saying, a lot to be done still in that house, man. A lot to be done on Sundays, man. Just saying, bro. There's plenty to do.
What I usually do, like on Browns loss, is I go to the gym and I'm just like, I hate the Browns. You hit those PRs after a good old Browns loss, and then the Browns win. You got to do a little chest. Because, you got a little
Chest bumping.
But like when it's leg day when they lose.
Yeah. However, we got to deal with the pain, as long as it's constructive, I'm a fan of. And sounds like we all did it. So
yeah.
we're getting ready for the Bills game. It's gonna be interesting, that's for sure. We'll talk about that later in the show, gentlemen. We have our beverages. Christian, I see you got your beverage. Coltrane, y'all lubed up. There we go.
And dry, baby. Every week, baby.
Some high quality H2O.
the official sponsor of the Yard Dogs podcast. No,
Oh man, like,
I'm just kidding.
wow. That, I mean, I felt
Canada
real
Dry, if you're
professional.
listening, we're open.
know
Just
what to do.
send us a DM, man. We'll talk. Let's get into some housekeeping. The Yard Dogs podcast and Network 216 are proud partners with Homage, the apparel company. If you haven't tried Homage yet, you are missing out. Homage is always coming out with on-point, cutting-edge sports apparel. Not just sports apparel, and believe me, they have many. Homage has also released sweet holiday collection of all of your favorite holiday movies. They are all represented.
Good.
Christmas Vacation, Elf, Home Alone, Die Hard. That's a holiday movie, Christmas movie. I don't care what you guys say.
Facts.
Jingle All the Way, showing support for your team and holiday spirit doesn't have to cost an arm and a leg. As a bonus, you will receive special discounts using our link to shop at Homage. Support the show, do it in style by shopping for all of your favorite sports team gear at Homage. Find our link on our website, network216ohio.com, or look for the Homage link on our Twitter page at Yard Dogs Pod. Shop Homage today. Gentlemen, Homage is like, they're coming out with some really cool stuff. Starter jackets galore. They're just flying off the shelves. Hoodies, shirts,
Some fire.
holiday gear. It's fire, right,
Yeah, it's
Christian?
fire.
Did you mention Macho Man Randy Savage's birthday?
Ooh,
A lot of merchandise flying through the shelves today, boys.
Everybody can do Macho Man impersonation. You ever notice that?
Yeah, that is true.
Everybody could do it.
It actually, true story. It actually scares the wife. It actually scares my wife when I do Macho Man Randy Savage. I have to mix it up to the Undertaker or somebody else, but she doesn't like the Macho Man. But speaking of my wife, Jason, I did not know they had Home Alone shirts for Homage. That is her favorite holiday movie. So you just gave me a great Christmas idea. Homage.
Yeah. There's an Homage shirt. I think it says, "Keep the change, you filthy animal." I like it.
Ah, perfecto.
That's fine.
Okay. I like that.
And of course, they have the Christmas Vacation hoodie. I'm going to order that for sure. That's like my favorite holiday movie is Christmas Vacation. That's
Yeah.
definitely playing in the Hand household for sure. And Home
Oh,
Alone.
yeah.
Home Alone's good.
Dude, Elf, that's a must.
Elf is a must.
That's a must. That's like the first
Yeah.
one that pops up, bro. That's the first one I watch every year.
There's some good Elf shirts
So
there
have
too.
Have you guys ever tried like the spaghetti with syrup on it?
No, dude.
Bro,
No.
listen,
You
I'm
have?
crazy. I try about
Ah.
anything, and it's fire. It actually is.
So you actually
Maybe-
tried it.
Yeah,
Maybe that could be one of the punishments, Jason. That's a good idea.
it wouldn't
I
be a
am writing
punishment
that
though.
down, sir.
It wouldn't
I am
even be a
writing that
punishment.
down.
You got to put some
Yeah.
Pop Tarts in it too.
It might not be a punishment for you, Christian, but for us, that sounds like actually a good idea because we're looking for punishments. We still are.
Well,
I
you
don't
got to
know
add
if you,
Pop Tarts to it.
Yeah.
Oh,
That
yeah.
Too.
You
You're
got to
right.
go full straight like movie accuracy.
Yeah.
We want the KF Christian special for that punishment for sure.
It's deep fried too.
Mhm.
If it's KFC special.
Well, for those that are listening, welcome to the Yard Dogs podcast. We're streaming live on YouTube, as I mentioned, also a couple Facebook pages, some Twitter accounts we're also streaming live on. Comments are always welcome. As the comments are rolling in, we'll be sure to talk about it. So thank you guys for tuning in. Let's get into some news and notes from around the league and also within the Browns. This is the top of the list because I just thought this was a cool story with the surprising announcement that Jeff Saturday was announced as the interim head coach of the Indianapolis Colts. He tweeted a week earlier before he was named coach that the Raiders suck, I think is pretty much what he said. And little did he know he was going to be coaching against the Raiders the very next week. Last week, Coltrane, you and I were on the same page. We were going to reserve judgment. A lot of people were very judgmental on the hiring of a coach. He didn't have any coaching experience, but I wanted to take a look at it. I mean, I respect Jeff Saturday. He's been around the league a long time. He was consultant with the Colts, but he gets his first win. So I was happy for the Indianapolis Colts and Jeff Saturday. KF Christian, I didn't get your thoughts on this. What do you think about all that, man?
Honestly, I was like, what? Like because usually, the stereotypical thing to do is just to promote within like your OC, your defense coordinator, or just somebody that's already on the staff. And for them to do that, and I was just like, wow, I didn't know really what to think about it originally, but I started thinking about it. Like, I mean, he did play. He played center. So I mean, it ain't like it's like the wide receiver position or a running back. Like the center has to know where everybody's at on the field. He's just as important as the quarterback. So he knows the scheme and the plays like the back of his hand, every single one of them. So he's the guy that has to help everybody line up correctly as well. So, I mean, he's intelligent. He has to be if he's going to be NFL starting center and was an all-pro. So,
Yeah, all pro at that. Yeah.
so
Coltrane, Parks Frazier was named the offensive coordinator. They made a interesting move. They brought back Matt Ryan to start at quarterback. I thought that was a good move, actually. Matt Ryan's been in the league for a long time. He's seen every defense out there. He's a veteran. He can win you ball games. I thought that was a solid move. But what did you think about that, bringing Matt Ryan back?
I thought it was a great call. I mean, at the end of the day, he was the guy they brought in for a reason. He's healthy. So, go back to the vet. They go back to Matty Ice, who knows what he's doing. Obviously, Jeff Saturday is a vet himself, so he's been there, done that as well. But I got to be honest with you, Jason, the subject alone, I got to gloat a little bit. I mean, you just said it yourself. Me and you on the show last week, we were getting a little heat from the other guys. We were the two ones playing devil's advocate. Like, hey, man, let the guy, play his games now. Like, let's see what the guy can do. Let's see his record. But I don't know if you guys listened to his. This is actually after I was on the show talking highly of him. Jason was. I don't know if you guys saw his presser where he became coach. That was impressive, dude. To be able to go when people are roasting you and toasting you all over, and to be able to come in on the mic like he did, present himself, and that's what this quote here, leader of men. That's why I think he got that win. Like at the end of the day. And I know we're going to get into this later, Jason, with our own coach and other coaches, but leader of men is a very bold statement because at the end of the day, if you are a leader of men, you either are or you aren't. And it doesn't matter if you coached high school. It doesn't matter if you coached, at LA Rams and an offensive coordinator. At the end of the day, if you're just a leader of men can get behind you. You can do anything, man. And that's all. I love that what Jeff Saturday was saying was just basically, here I am. If I blow it, the guys, the owner, Jim Irsay, is going to say, hey, thanks for your time, and I'll be on my merry way. But at the end of the day, don't count me out before I even get a chance. It's like any job opportunity for anybody, Jason, if you got hired to the next job, I'm not going to go, oh, Jason, you're an idiot, dude. Why'd you take that job, Jason? That's not what you're working for, man. That's not what you do, though, for a living. At the end of the day, man, give the guy a shot, give him a chance. But I do think I did like what I saw from him, and like I said, I will have to take a moment to say I love when I'm right because I just could. I mean, even I was talking about on the show last week. I couldn't believe how badly they were tossing this guy through the burners, dude. It was like at the end of the day, he's like anybody. He took an opportunity. They called him. They were interested in him, and he took the opportunity. Like, don't castrate the man just because he said, "Hey, I'm interested." I don't know. That's just my take
and
on
it's ironic that his first game he goes against the coach that was highly sought after last year. Josh McDaniel. I mean, heck, we wanted him. Most Browns fans wanted that hire when he was looking for a job. I'm not saying you guys. I don't know your thoughts on that. But
no, bro, I was in there with that plane tracking. Like I had all the notes on. I was
sure. yeah. And. You take a coach like that was sought after, multiple teams wanted him, and then Jeff Saturday goes against this guy. And what is Josh McDaniels 2-7? I mean, he's had a rough start in Las Vegas. Hopefully, he turns it around. I don't know, man. I mean, they definitely have some key pieces. They've got a good running back. They have a decent quarterback, and they just signed Devontae Adams this year. So. Hopefully they can turn it around. But Coltrane, you called it out weeks ago that that the Raiders, the ship is going down. I think is what you said, and you're exactly right.
I always thought myself, in my opinion, I always thought McDaniels was one of those examples of Belichick's tree that his success was off of Belichick. He's also like what was that guy Laporta, or what was his name that the Detroit Lions coach? That was the same situation. Patricia, sorry, I don't know why I said Laporta. Matt Patricia, same situation. You know, a lot of these guys ride the coattails of other coaches' success, and you think like, oh man, like this guy's, you know, they're only concentrating on one. And that's the thing. McDaniels is only concentrating on the offense. As we know, we're going to talk about later, Jason, head coach is a whole different story. I called McDaniels from day one. I never wanted him in Cleveland. I never wanted him for the Raiders, you know, especially for my Raiders fans. But, man, I'll tell you, speaking of Raiders, I talked to a Raiders fan today. He was livid about that Carr interview, dude. He actually was pissed, saying Carr stinks, and he's covering up his stinkness with this emotional tweet. I mean, it was kind of funny, man. But yeah, you know, we like to represent all of our NFL teams on this show. But man, my buddy, man, he was fired up today, Jason. He was actually upset that Carr cried. He was calling him a punk B word. And we like to stay PG-13 on this show. But yeah, he was calling him some names, man. I was surprised. I'm shocked. Raider Nation is about kind of Browns Nation right now. They're in shambles, dude. They're kind of going after each other right now. So.
Yeah. They got their problems and we have ours. Let's get into ours. Myles Garrett, he made a comment after the game, and I called it the wall comment. He said it doesn't matter if you're running through a wall if it's the wrong direction. And I have to be honest with you guys, I had to think about that for a while. Like, what did Myles Garrett actually mean by that? He actually walked it back a little. He said he wasn't singling out any one person, coach, or player. KF Christian, what are your thoughts on that, man? I mean, when the leader of your team speaks, we all should listen.
Yeah, I don't care what he says. He just threw everybody on the defense, everybody on the coaching staff, like defensively. He just threw them under the bus. Everybody is under the bus right now from the way Myles Garrett put that. I don't know if it's Stefanski maybe, because I mean he is the head coach. He's the leader of the team. Or if he's going Joe Woods right there. I think more likely it's Joe Woods because we all know Stefanski's doing his part on the offensive side of the ball, and they're like top 5, top 7 in efficiency. I've not looked at the efficiency stats since this last game. I've just not had the heart to.
You don't want to.
Yeah, I don't want to. But, like, I mean, going into that game, we were top 5 in efficiency, and that's with a backup quarterback. So, and I mean, the defense regressed so bad from last year. And who's calling the plays? Joe Woods. So, I think it's a shot at Joe Woods, personally.
What do you think, man? Is it a shot at his teammates, coaches, a little bit of both? What are your thoughts, Coltrane?
You know, I think KFC is right. It's at Joe Woods. I don't think it's at Stefanski. It's at some of the players. But, you know, my issue with Myles is he reminds me a little bit of Baker-ish in these comments. Myles, I get it. You're frustrated you lost. But just take the L, man. He's very, very vocal. And I'll get into him later, Jason, when we talk about leaders in the locker room and all that stuff. But I don't know. I'm just whatever he meant or whatever he was going with. It's just like, bro, brother, we're 3-6 team, dude. We're a 3-6 football team, bro. Just you know, not even saying, not even interview. I mean, not even don't do a post interview. They don't have to. By their contract, they don't have to. They can choose to. So, if I were Myles, man, I'm sorry, bro. I just would have shut my mouth at this one. They got blown out. There's nothing at all to say at all. No player should have had anything to say. Even John Johnson was speaking the next day, you know, about having fun. I don't know, man. I'm done hearing these players just speak out like that. And then Myles, for this situation, just shut up, bro. We're 3-6 football team. Get better or don't. That's kind of where I'm at, guys. Sorry I have to be so Scrooge on you, Jason, but that's how I feel.
'Tis the season. Let's I want to talk about this. This is a rumor, and I normally don't like to talk about rumors, but I do want to mention it because I think it is worth mentioning. Perion Winfrey, we drafted him in the 4th round. Everybody, including myself, was excited. Everybody liked his energy, his moxie, and we said when we drafted him on this show that if his play matches his attitude, he's going to be something special in this league. Well, that's not what happened. His play has not matched his attitude. His attitude has gone south. I heard a rumor that he was out clubbing late at night, and that's why he was a healthy scratch. Did you guys hear anything about this? Tell me if I'm wrong.
This isn't the first time either, Jason. This is actually the second time this season. Fun fact for you guys. I know a lot about Mr. Winfrey. First of all, did you guys know that is Oprah Winfrey's nephew officially? Oprah Winfrey is his auntie, legit, like blood relative. So what I will say, gentlemen, is about Mr. Winfrey. I think there was a reason he was available in the 4th round for this reason. He's a silver spoon guy, bro. He's been rich his whole life, man. He's never had to work hard for anything. He's never had to really truly make plays to make plays. I mean, some of these guys in the Browns, they came from nothing. You know, they're making plays for their family. They're making plays for – he has no motive, dude. When I see Winfrey and what he does on social media, at practices, all this stuff I hear about him, rumors or not, whether they're true or not, it's all Johnny Manziel-ish. It's a guy who had money. He has money. And he doesn't like to really – he doesn't care. That whole bye week, what was he had his feet up in the Houston Rockets, 4 seats. I mean, this guy's just, you know, he comes from money. He's rich. He's Oprah's nephew. I don't think he really has. I don't think he cares. He doesn't care. I know they talked about it on Down the Browns yesterday. I heard you guys talking about it yesterday, Christian. You know, just cut him. I'm sorry. I'm done with him, bro. We all got excited about him. We were all happy about him. But now I've come to the conclusion. I said to my wife many times during the draft, how is Perrion still there? How is Perrion still there? This is the kind of stories that remind you of that movie Draft Day. Sometimes there is reasons why guys fall that far. And he's one of them where I think a lot of other teams knew about this guy's story. Yeah. They knew he was either buku nuts or some clubber, some club hopper, whatever. And they knew this, and they just kept it to themselves. They're not going to tell everybody. And the Browns thought we were the smartest guys in the room. And he's a bust. Because no matter what, I don't think, whether it's a new team or whatever, you're not, just like a Manziel, you're not going to change his drive to make a play, man. And that's where he lacks. He doesn't care. Dude, you were a 3-5 football team, and you were at the club in Miami. Ooh, yeah, Perrion, baby, Cleveland Browns. Come on, girls. Bro, we're 3-5. Perrion, we're 3-5, bro. And you're over here. Woo! Will Smith. Throw the Miami. Let me throw another photo on my Instagram, guys, and some, you know, fresh gear, bro, and my fanny pack that looks like it's from Inspector Gadget's show. I mean, all right, guys, I'm done, but I'm telling you, you said Perrion Winfrey. I've been meaning to talk about this guy for a long time. He's a thorn in my side. Please, AB, if you're going to wait to the offseason, cut his ass, dude. Cut Oprah's nephew immediately. And that's all I gotta say.
I'm sorry it took me so many weeks to bring it up. I mean, that was some hot fire there, Coltrane.
He was balled up on that one.
Yeah.
Miami. Bro, we're 3-5. Perrion, we're 3-5, bro. You missed curfew, dude. You missed curfew. What are you doing?
So I like the term Matty G says it's he's first team all Barley House.
Yeah, I'm sure. Liquid too, I believe, right? Liquid, he goes to all of them.
I mean, there's probably not a club he doesn't hit in Cleveland. You know.
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, honestly, like I wasn't a big guy on Perrion going into the draft. I was more of a Travis Jones guy. But like when we drafted him, you know, the I'm a dog, like all that. I mean, it got us all hot. Let's be real. But
I ate it up.
Dude, I did too. I was like,
so did I.
And then I
this
remember
is the guy.
I was kind of skeptical because I'm not a big fan of drafting guys from the Big 12 on defense. I'm more of like your Big 10, SEC. Like that's where I like to see our guys come from. But you know, I had big hopes for him going into the season. I'm like, okay, he's a young buck. He does better in the pass rush. Let's see if he can improve that run defense. And he looked good in the preseason. And we've just not got anything out of him. And it's kind of sad to see because he's throwing his career away at such a young age. And there's millions of dollars to be made, and he's just throwing it away to go to clubs.
Wow.
Hey, let me end with his stats. 6 games, 6 tackles. There's no need for him, bro. We don't, you know, if we lose him tomorrow, we wouldn't miss him. So
Yep. Well,
So he was a healthy scratch, and then I know you guys heard this. Grant Delpit, he missed the first play of the game. Is that what I heard? Right? For disciplinary actions, like what must you do to warrant a 1-play suspension?
all team Barley House, baby. Grant Delpit.
he was probably in Miami with Barry.
Okay, so I've heard a lot of our defensive players are all team Barley. I don't know how true that is, but I heard a lot of our defensive players like to go clubbing.
I'm sure,
Wow.
dude. Town Hall, they like to frequent as well. A lot of Browns like Kareem Hunt and stuff. They go to Town Hall. I've seen them there before.
I mean, if you miss one play, to me, like you're probably late for a team meeting or something. Like it was something stupid.
I think he was a couple minutes late for curfew is what I think it was. I think he went out like a lot of them guys probably shouldn't have done, but they did. And he was probably a couple minutes late curfew. And that's why it was probably 1 play. He probably was like say it was like 11 o'clock. He probably came in 11:05. And there's hey, dude, they try to teach him a lesson a little bit. But Mr. Perrion was probably out till like 2:30 in the morning. Oh shit! I didn't know they was checking. I didn't know they was checking our doors and shit.
He probably wasn't even. He didn't probably sleep. He's up all.
No,
I mean, don't teams have a guy that does head count at the hotel?
100%, 100%,
Yeah.
bro. That's what they do. Yeah, 100%, dude.
You do your head counts, and
Yeah.
we've seen players get busted in the past. They have females in the hotel rooms. Coming in late, staying out all night. I don't get it. If it's a night before the game, I get that you can't sleep because you're excited. I mean, I'm a fan, and the night before a game, I get excited, but I definitely don't. Somebody told me never party before a party. Like to me, you just don't do that. We got to be responsible, especially you're talking about in Miami where it's 100 degrees out and hydration is crucial, if you want to get through that game, and to go out and party the night before, that makes zero sense to me. Like zero. But that's just me. Let's get into the game a little bit. I don't want to spend too much time on this. KF Christian, man, why did we get boat raced in this game? Like, if you could point out one or two things, like, what was the deal?
Our defensive line is certified garbage. Outside of maybe Miles, Clowney has not been the guy we thought he was going to be this year. He's been average at best. Tommy Togiai, Taven Bryant, Jordan Elliott, Perrion Winfrey will not be in the NFL next year. And if they are, they're all going to be on practice squads. They're awful. Like, I mean, if you watch these runs, they are 5 yards pushed off the line. Like, defensive tackles should not be able to get boat raced and dog walked 5 yards up the field on a run play when they haven't it's just like every play. It ain't like it's like one in every like other drive. It's just they don't have I don't know, man. I'm fed up with it. There's no fire in these guys at all on defense. Like they're all lazy. There's no guy to keep them accountable, and I'm sick of it.
Yeah. Jadeveon Clowney, he wasn't effective on Sunday. I mean, the one play that I remember is like etched in the back of my head. Jeff Wilson ran just right past our defensive line, and there's Jadeveon Clowney just lackadaisical chasing him, like just giving half effort. He wasn't going to ever catch him. But, yeah, I mean, this is what I look at. If you lose in the trenches, you're done. That's like the starting point is your defensive line and your offensive line. Like that's the trenches to me. And we lost on both sides. Yeah. Like our offensive line, who's normally spectacular, didn't look good. They're getting pushed all around. Nick Chubb was getting hit in the backfield. I don't know how many times. I mean, he had his worst game of the year. What did Nick Chubb? I mean, I know he had that long touchdown run, but he had 63 yards. When it's all said and done, he rushed 11 times. We started off good. I mean, it was 7-0. And guys, I gotta tell you, man, when we scored that touchdown, I was excited. I'm like, okay, we're gonna continue this, right? Straight on from playing the Cincinnati Bengals. Here we are in Miami. We're continuing this run, and then the defense stepped on the field, and I got to tell you guys, I remember at one point it was 10-7, and I'm thinking in my head, we don't have a chance. Like we were not going to beat this team, and we were only down 3 points. I shouldn't be thinking that way, but I was. It was a game that they just did whatever they wanted to us. Tua was throwing all over the field. Jeff Wilson was running all over the field. We couldn't do anything. Amari Cooper was only targeted 3 times, which I thought was odd, right? I mean, he's our number one receiver. DPJ had a solid game, not taking anything away from him, but DPJ was targeted 9, Amari Cooper 3. That was like one of the head scratchers for me. Like, why not get Amari Cooper more involved in the game? But I don't even know if that would have made a difference. I mean, like I said, it starts in the trenches, and we lost badly as far as that's concerned.
Well, they were double teaming him a lot too. I think that's why, because we didn't have Njoku out there. So it that's why DPJ was kind of open a lot, was because they were doubling Amari and everybody else kind of ate.
Yeah, I think we are missing David Njoku more than we realize, but it was a tough day. Speaking of the trenches, I watched this Hall of Fame speech. It was 10 years ago because I looked it up, and I'll never forget. It was Russ Grimm. He was an offensive lineman, old school guy. But a quote that I had to look up because it was just awesome, and especially the way he said it. He said, "Playing offensive line, there is no greater feeling than to be able to move a man from point A to point B against his will." Dude, when he said that, man, I just got goosebumps, and I never forgot it. Like, that's what it is about, being an offensive lineman, is moving a guy against his will. And these are big guys. Like, these are big guys trying to get to the quarterback. And normally we have it, and we didn't on Sunday. And they did. They dominated our defensive line. Like, Tua, I don't even think they had to wash his uniform after the game. I mean, maybe because he was sliding for a first down from a quarterback sneak, but that was pretty much about it.
Well, the difference too is, D tackle and on the defense for Miami. If you noticed, I was watching great defensive tackle play by the Dolphins, dude. If the guys on the edge weren't getting in, those big boys in the middle were just manhandling Jacoby and manhandling our offensive line. So the difference really was the eye-opener and that gaping hole the fans have been talking about all season long with Andrew Berry is D-tackle position never got filled, man. So, yeah, you guys talking about trenches. D-tackle, man, it was amazing to see some good D-tackle play coming from the Dolphins, dude. That one team, that captain, was it Wilkins? That guy, Wilkins, badass, dude. Just a dude that knows how to get in there. And that's what we've been needing, man. That's the kind of play that we've been wanting to see from the Browns. That's what we thought Winfrey was going to be. But, yeah, I mean, they exposed us, man. And also, in my opinion, dude, it's a lot more of Stefanski's schemes are just they're on to him. These coaches are on to Stefanski, man. You guys notice, Jason, you mentioned your score that after or whatever, maybe after 2 scores or something, or after they scored, after it was tied, then you thought it was over. I thought it was over when they tied us because I knew in my heart that was the best Stefanski was going to have all game was that drive. That was the scripted. That was the one they came up with. And he's been horrible lately at ad-libbing offense or making changes. So actually, for me, when it was 7-7, I already gave up in my mind thinking we're down 21-0. Just because I did not believe Stefanski's I didn't believe Stefanski could do it, man. So I'm starting to doubt Stefanski, man. I don't know. But yeah, that game was rough, guys. Very tough one to swallow as a Browns fan, especially in a die-hard must-win. How it's been every week for us, dude. Like I said, it takes a toll on you, man. Must win. Should have been.
There's been a lot of talk about leadership. I'm hearing that on the morning shows, Ken Sherman and Anthony Lima. I'm seeing it on Twitter. A lot of people are talking about the leadership and the lack thereof that the Browns have. That people are questioning that the Browns don't have the leadership other teams have. So, Coltrane, I asked you to come up with a couple of teams that do have leadership, because there's a lot of great top tier teams that just have tremendous leadership. And I was wondering if you did your homework, actually.
Yeah, I did my homework. I don't know if I consider them top tier yet, but I wanted to mention a couple names and a couple of teams you guys might recognize. For one, Mike McCarthy. I thought that guy was a bum. Actually, when Cleveland was talking to him, I thought he was going to be horrible. I even watched his little hour long special on him, and I thought his guys were old school and a little old school football. But hey, man, I'll tell you what, that Cowboys team has been garbage for years. And say what you want about the dude, he's turned them around. They're 6-3. They're having a great season. I'm going to do another coach in there as well. I'm going to throw in another mix that also wanted to interviewed here at Cleveland, Robert Saleh, the Jets. Guys, let's be real. The Jets has been trash for 10 plus years. I didn't think anything of Saleh. I thought he was a bum too. I actually wanted Stefanski over Saleh during that time. I'll be honest to admit that. I thought Saleh, was just a defensive guy, whatever. But it goes back to that conversation I was telling earlier in the show, that leader of men aspect. Saleh, you could just tell, man, he's got what I think a lot of us fans want from Stefanski. He's got that fire, baby. He's got that, give me some, boy. Give me some of that. Somebody gets a sack, he's fire. He's punching the sky. Let's go, baby, knock out. That's what we as fans and what you as a fan at home always want to see your head coach doing. Mm-hmm. And Saleh's got the juice when it comes to leaders of men. One more name I'll drop, Brian Daboll with the New York Giants, also a guy that happened to be affiliated with the Cleveland Browns. Guys, his quarterback is Daniel Jones, bro. Saleh's quarterback is that rookie bum. I mean, these coaches are not playing with top tier. All the Browns' excuses for Stefanski. Oh, well, he's playing with a backup. Who does Saleh have? Who does Daboll have? These guys have, they don't have top tier. These aren't top tier QBs they're playing with. So it goes back to what you're talking about, Jason. These guys are just leaders. These coaches are leaders. The guys they hired underneath them, their players get behind. They believe in it. They swallow the juice up. They give their all every Sunday. And as you guys know, what do you see when the Browns play? It's like this, dude. Up, down, up, down. Some weeks we're a banging out team. We're roasting the Bengals and toasting them. And then some weeks, man, we're just – and it looks like they're all looking at Stefanski like, what's going on, bro? What are we doing? Mm-hmm. One more thing I'll talk about real quick, because I did do my homework, Jason. I had a lot written down here, was Myles Garrett. A lot of people say he's a leader on this team. But let me throw something at you guys. Let me play devil's advocate to number 95, who a lot of fans I know love, and they're probably going to write me negative tweets about this. Myles Garrett claims he's a leader in the locker room. But here's my problem with Myles Garrett. He had that 6-game suspension with the helmet on Mason Rudolph. He took a week off with that car accident he got in. Yes, God willing, I'm glad he's okay. But that was an exit from a speeding issue that happened to him, and that's why that happened to him. He also has numerous traffic violations. So understand something, guys. He's supposed to be a leader in the locker room. He's supposed to be one of our best players. Being a leader in the locker room. Players see this news stories too. Players see this stuff. So it's almost like Stefanski, where it's like, is Myles preaching becoming dull? Do people really take Myles serious? If I was a player in the locker room and I knew Myles' history, and especially this season where he was off for a week for a car accident he got in where he was speeding ridiculously, I wouldn't take him seriously. I wouldn't listen to Myles Garrett. I'm sorry, guys. I hate to be playing at devil's advocate, but a player like him, to me, if you want to be the player of the team, you want to be the leader of the team, you got to be here, bro. You can't say nothing crazy to the press. You can't say nothing when you're mad. You're just going to stay in your lane and be a natural leader. So I'll end with this. As far as the Browns are concerned with leaders, I hope by God, guys, that Watson is that guy we're looking for player-wise in the locker room. Because right now, dude, we don't have it, dude. I'm sorry. We just don't have it. It's non-existent. Myles Garrett, to me, is not a leader of men. And I'll end with that.
Phew. It's good stuff, Coltrane. I agree with you, about Deshaun Watson. Hopefully he is that leader, because we are I think we are lacking there. I really do. I think we're lacking. Now, we do have leaders on this team. I used to run a sales team, and we used to look for leaders a lot. And there are certain things that we would look for. It didn't always have to be the loudest guy. It could be the guy that led by example. But mostly it was the guys that bought into our goals and what we were trying to achieve as an organization. And that's who we were looking for, somebody that could buy into what we were doing. And if they saw somebody kind of rowing a different direction, he would pull that guy aside and say, hey, guy or girl aside and say, hey, I see the way that you're doing it, but this is how we want you to do it. And they would correct him. I just don't. We're not in the locker room, man. We just don't know what's going on in the locker room. I can only imagine what it's like. I don't think it's good. The players, we hear them in interviews saying, oh, everything's good. Everybody's, just wanting to get better. And I don't know if I buy that, man. Because when you're a 3-6 football team, and the way that we saw them play this past week in Miami, and we saw some other games. I went to one, Mikey P and I went to one in person, the Patriots game. That was not pretty. I saw a football team live in front of my own face that just didn't look like they wanted to be there. That's what I saw Sunday in Miami, was a team that was just going through the motions. They weren't playing with intense fire. KFC got the lighter. They weren't doing that. They were just getting through the day, and whatever happens. And I don't want to see that from my football team. I care about this team too much, and sometimes I get mad at myself, like, Jason, why do you care about the Cleveland Browns so much? Well, I don't know the answer to that. I mean, I've loved them ever since I was a kid, man. When I was a kid, I remember seeing them run out of the tunnel and seeing those orange helmets, and I would get goosebumps just like by looking at their uniform. I would get goosebumps, and then I would see him play, and Bernie Kosar, like these old school players. That's the team that I fell in love with, and I think that's what I'm hoping we get back to one day. And to your point, Coltrane, maybe Deshaun Watson is that answer. Maybe he is that leader that we're looking for. I think what we're missing are those guys that, I'd mentioned that to be a leader, you don't have to be a rah-rah guy, but you do need a few of those guys on your roster. Don't you agree with that, KF Christian?
Yeah, so I'm a big guy on Super Bowl veteran presence. I think Malik Jackson last year and Malcolm Smith were the two most crucial players on the defense last year. Nobody wants to talk about it because, they weren't upper echelon talented players. But that them having that voice in that locker room had something to do with when the defense shifted last year. Malcolm Smith was like, when I was in Jacksonville, when I was in Denver, and then when Malcolm Smith was like, when we won the Super Bowl, because he's a Super Bowl MVP. He didn't win that without being talented and being a leader. So I think that since we didn't get those guys back, AWOC, great leader, but he's not been to the promised land. I want guys that have got they've got the silverware. They've got it. They've got the trophies. They've got the rings. I want those guys that can come in and be like, hey, this is what we did when we won the Super Bowl this year. We got to flip the switch. We don't got anybody. Who's going to go flip the switch? Ronnie Harrison? JJ3? Deion Jones, great linebacker, but he got there. Hopefully he can be like, hey, this is what we did in Atlanta. We got to flip the switch. But I think we got to have some more veteran presence, because in all reality, this is a very young defense. Your older guys are like Myles Garrett and JJ3. They're just 26 years old. They've not been in the league more than 6 years. Clowney, he's 30. He's the only guy. So, most of these guys that are on defense really haven't been in the league, so they don't know how to, in the NFL, it's flip the switch. That's what I'm getting at.
When I'm going to bring up Jarvis Landry.
Yeah.
To me, he was one of the last true leaders that we had on this team. we all saw him in HBO Hard Knocks. Like, we got a behind-the-scenes look. And he might have just been saying it because the cameras were there, but I really believe that Jarvis Landry is a leader. If he saw somebody that wasn't doing their job or was half-assed in practice, I believe that he called them out. You know, he was that kind of guy. You weren't going to go lackadaisical in his presence. Do we have a guy like Jarvis Landry now? I would say the answer is no. Very few people are like Jarvis Landry, but that's the type of people that we need in this organization. Now, you might kill me for this, but Baker Mayfield was kind of that guy. Now, Baker Mayfield was a leader. He didn't back it up with his play. Yeah, I'm losing Coltrane now. you know, his play wasn't like we would. But let me tell you, if Baker was 30% better than the way he was playing, I mean, he would be a Pro Bowler. I mean, he had the attitude, he had the leadership. He couldn't get it done on the football field. But we need players like that. And Coltrane, I'm still thinking about what you said. Deshaun Watson, I hope he is that guy. You know, one of the last, I've always remember this. Him and J.J. Watt were walking off the field. It was like after the last game of the year, and I think it was their 4-12 season. Like, Deshaun Watson had a phenomenal year. He was top 3 quarterback in the league. He threw for 5,000 yards almost. Mm-hmm. But I remember them walking off the field. They must have been mic'd up because Deshaun Watson told J.J. Watt, he like apologized to him. He was like, hey, I'm sorry we wasted one of your Hall of Fame years. I'm sorry we just wasted a year for you. And it was like a sincere apology, and I do believe that he meant that, you know. So hopefully he brings that same. I mean, I don't want him to bring 4-12 here, but you know, I want him to. I mean, we're paying him $230 million. He better be a leader, but we desperately need that on this team. We really do, and we're almost running out of time. But yeah, I mean, it's been talked about. It's something we're going to have to continue to keep an eye on, but we need leaders to step up on this team, and we just can't have what we've been seeing. I mean, that's just awful football, just terrible football. Mm-hmm. And it's weird, too, to go from a game like Cincinnati on Monday night to Miami. I don't get it, because you can see what they can do. Mm-hmm. Like, we could see what this team can do. And for them to go from hot to cold like that, I don't get that. It's a roller coaster ride is what it is. Let's move on. Coltrane, tell us about Underdog Fantasy.
We are a proud partner with Underdog Fantasy. Underdog Fantasy is the easiest place to play fantasy football. If you're like most people and love to play daily fantasy, also love to win cash, Underdog Fantasy is definitely for you. Underdog is going to match your initial deposit up to $100 by using promo code 216. So you deposit $50, it becomes $100 to play an Underdog Fantasy. Use promo code 216, and let's make some money today. Oh, and shout out Jeff Adelsberg. Appreciate you watching, buddy. I got to see your comment right down below, man. Thank you for always watching us, buddy.
And he agrees with the Coltrane.
Yes,
and Mikey P is tuning in. He couldn't be with us this week. He's got some family he has to his attention requires, nothing bad or anything like that, but he'll be back next week. So KF Christian, thank you for joining us tonight.
Thanks for having me.
Let's get into real quick Browns-Bills preview, and then we have our prediction time. The 3-6 Browns take on the 6-3 Bills in Buffalo. You guys heard about the snow? It's going to be a lot of snow. About, I don't know, they're saying 30 inches or something like that, something real crazy. Last I checked, the Bills are favored by 9.5. The over-under is set at 47. I do have a feeling if it hasn't already, that's going to change, and that over-under is going to go way down. I looked this up. So the last time the Bills played in Buffalo with a ton of snow, it was against the Indianapolis Colts. Coltrane, did you know this? Did you see this? Mm-mm. And guess who was the Colts quarterback at that time?
Who was it?
Yo man, Jacoby Brissett.
Oh man,
was it?
It was Jacoby
Who won that
Brissett.
game? Who won that game?
The Bills won that game 13-7. And I want to go through a couple of stats because the weather matters, right? Weather matters. You can throw a lot of stats out the window when you have 6 inches of snow on the ground or a foot. I don't know how much snow. It's going to be a lot. But Jacoby Brissett was 11 for 22 for 69 yards, 1 touchdown. And Nathan Peterman was the Bills quarterback. He was 5 of 10 for 57 yards and also a touchdown. The running game, this is what is eye-opening. LaShawn McCoy had 32 carries for 156 yards and a touchdown. And Frank Gore, remember him, old man Frank? He had 36 carries, 36, for 130 yards. So, fellas, if the weather does what we all think it's going to do, we really need to think about this when we talk about, this game and what it means. I mean, we all know Josh Allen. He's a tremendous quarterback. Stephon Diggs is an awesome receiver. But the snow might be doing us some favors in this game. So I want to open up to you, KF Christian. Like, what are your opening thoughts about this game? Look, I think I'm going to let you speak in a second.
No, you're good.
On this podcast, and I think I heard you guys say the same thing. These 3 games, including the one we just lost to Miami, for us to be like in a playoff hunt, and I can't even believe I just said playoffs, but we all agreed we had to win 2 out of the next 3. Well, we lost the first one, so we have to beat Buffalo and Buffalo, and then we have to beat the Buccaneers. So I'm a Browns fan. I never believed that we're out until we're out. We're still in this thing. So I'm still optimistic.
Hey, we've got 4.5% to make it. So you're telling me there's a chance.
You're telling me there's a chance.
That's all you need to give me, just a chance.
So give me your opening thoughts for this game, man.
So for all the people that love to run the ball, you're going to see a lot of running the ball because you're not going to be throwing that football much. If you've got Amari Cooper, if you've got Donovan People-Jones in your underdog fantasy leagues, just go ahead, take them out of that lineup because they're not going to be touching the ball much. If you've got Nick Chubb, if you've got Kareem Hunt, more power to you. You're about to have a lot of fantasy points because I wouldn't be shocked if we ran the ball 45 times.
Wow. This is like excellent job out of you using the cough button. I saw that. That was good stuff.
Good
I love it. Coltrane.
It was a sneeze and a cough. It's a cough.
well, bless you, sir. Bless you. Coltrane, what do you think about this game, man? In Buffalo, snow. You think we're going to have a run fest?
Dude, I don't know. The first thing I thought of when I seen people tweeting it, positive, little light bulb, baby. Like, we're good. I love Browns fans, man. We always are positive. I just, I'm snow or not, it's the Bills, dude. I just, I even told my Bills fans, I get to put my projector together this weekend. I'm going to have my 110-inch projector just to see another massacre of the Browns. I don't know, man. I think it will be a good little running shootout as KFC is trying to say. But, it's going to be interesting, man. And hopefully the kid kicks a couple for us. Cade York, he's kind of had a, off last few games and all that. He hasn't really had any opportunities. But, yeah, I mean, I think we'll be okay as long as Stefanski goes for it on 4th and we actually get it. We'll be in a good position to win. That's all I'll really say.
I will say that before this little miracle, I didn't think we would have a snowball's chance in where to beat the Buffalo Bills. Like, without snow, there's no way we can win this game. But with 30 inches of snow or even a foot of snow, I think that does change things, man, to where I'm not going to say you give us the edge, but I do like our chances. KF Christian, you just mentioned, if you have Nick Chubb or Kareem Hunt in your fantasy leagues, like, start them. Yeah. To me, that's our golden ticket to a possible victory. Well, and it's still a slim chance, but
I just thought of this. So, I mean, you guys know about the injury in Josh Allen's elbow. What if they're like, okay, it's going to snow 30 inches. We're not going to be throwing the football much. Why don't we sit Josh Allen, not risk him. You think it
No
happens?
shot. No shot.
Because,
in hell
I mean, they're not
Josh
gonna be throwing
Allen
the-
sits,
He's their
though.
leading
That's
rusher,
Josh
bro.
Allen, bro. No way.
I mean,
Dude.
why not? I mean, it's the 3-6 Browns.
If it was anybody else, KF Christian, it's Josh Allen. Dude, the guy was supposed to be out 1 to 2 weeks even with this injury that he already had, and he played. So
And they've
I'm
lost
not-
2 straight,
yeah.
right?
no way.
They-
Yeah,
the
dude, he
Bills
leads
are
the
on a
league in
2-game.
he leads the
Josh
league in
Allen's
10 picks, bro.
actually not been that great the past few weeks
No.
either. I mean, he's
No.
leading the league in turnovers. His QBR the last 3 weeks is below 40.
Speaking of leader of men, too, you notice he threw his helmet again. He does those things a lot. He does that stuff a lot, man. He does really childish stuff. And some people might say, no, he's a gamer. I don't know. I have to disagree, dude. If you're throwing your helmet like that, it just puts a bad representation on you. You know what I mean? It reminds me of like Manziel throwing the iPad, at the one time or at the one game. I mean, it gives you a bad look. So I don't know, man. Josh Allen, he's a leader, but he's definitely has a little bit of that Baker negativity in him to where he just does stuff where you're just like, what? I mean, he threw a ball at a lineman one time when they lost. I mean, he doesn't take losses well at all, dude. So
KF Christian and I were talking about this. Coltrane, if you have Josh Allen on your fantasy team, do you start him this week? If there's like the snow we're talking about?
yeah, you do, because like you just said it, Jason. I think they still run with him. They're going to run with
Yeah.
him, and they're going to run with Singletary. They're still going to run with him.
Well, I mean, most of his yards come from pass plays, though, and they're not going to be set. Well, I mean, it is Joe Woods. We'll probably be just rushing for it the entire game, anyways. But I mean, a normal defensive coach would load that
Yeah.
box, because I mean, it's going to be a run game. And
I think why I'm hating too, KF Christian, is because how many times this year have we hoped for the backup? We've hoped for like the freaking practice squad QB, and then we got annihilated worse than we even would.
yeah,
against
that's
the,
true.
a
Case
freaking
Keenum
top
revenge
tier.
game.
So it's like we're making these bums look like Dan Marino from the 80s. It's just
Prime Joe Flacco.
Joe Woods is just Joe Woods. So I
It's-
don't care who's back there. It's just Joe Woods, man. I don't know. I have no faith.
Me either, man.
All right, each of you have 20 seconds. Who's your yard dog of the week? This is the guy that, if we have any chance of beating Buffalo, this player is going to be the guy who gets it done. KF Christian, I'll start with you.
Batman himself, Nick Chubb. That's all I'm gonna say. You can have the rest of the time.
Just like Nick Chubb, he wouldn't say anything either, right?
Yeah.
And so yeah, I like it. Coltrane.
I'm going to go back to what my yard dog of the week last week was, but it didn't pan out for me because Stefanski or whoever, Jacoby didn't want to throw his way. Amari Cooper, even though we won't be throwing it that much, I still can see some goal line TDs go Cooper's way. He's old reliable. He's definitely a guy that you want to get the ball in his hands no matter what. I'm with you, Jason. I'm flabbergasted. I got to use that word. I'm flabbergasted. He was not utilized more, and I definitely think this week – usually that's how Stefanski, and that's what I mean about Stefanski's being predictable. Usually that's how it works. Like if they have an off game, then he'll make sure he gets them in the offense this week. And I think you'll be seeing a lot of Cooper this week.
I love it. My yard dog is your Robin, KF Christian. That's Kareem Hunt, because he can run the ball and he can catch the ball. And if the weather is like we think it is, Jacoby Brissett's going to be looking for the high percentage throws. So he's going to be doing a lot of dump offs to Kareem Hunt, I think. So I think we're going to see a pretty big day from Mr. Hunt there, the Joker himself. YouTube, if you want to support the show, you can subscribe to Network 216 YouTube channel for free. We're working hard to bring Cleveland sports content, and we have more shows joining the network. Hey, just like Down with the Browns, KFC's joining us tonight. That's another great show on the Network 216 network. Sorry, this Bud Light's starting to kick in. We're your one-stop shop for all of your Ohio sports content. So if you're watching this show and you look down your phone, you're like, oh, man, I'm not even subscribed. Hit that subscribe button. Do us a favor. Support the show and Network 216. Prediction time. We have like 3 minutes. All right, so prediction time. What we do, KF Christians, we predict all of the AFC North matchups. And we have 3 games this week. We have a year-long bet. Mikey P is in third place. It's a real tight race. Mikey P's in third place with 14 points. Coltrane's in second with 17. And myself, I have a 1-point lead at 18 points for the year. Let's get into our first game. We're going to predict who's going to win and the final score. If you get the exact final score, then you get a 3-point bonus. So the Bengals, they're a 5-point favorite at Steelers. KF Christian, I'll start with you. Who's going to win this game and what's the score?
So I think it's going to be an absurd take, but I think Pittsburgh's going to win the game. 23-17.
Wow, okay. Pittsburgh. All right, Coltrane, moving on to you.
I got Bengals 24, Steelers 10.
24-10 Bengals. Mikey P gave me his scores. He has the Bengals 23-13, and I also have the Bengals at 27-17. So KF Christian going with the Steelers. I like that. Over the Bengals, that is. I don't like to see the Steelers win, but if they were to win against the Bengals, will be okay. Let's move on to the next game. Panthers at Ravens. The Ravens are favored by 12 points. That's a lot of points, I think. It's at Baltimore, but the Panthers have struggled. Baker Mayfield is throwing the keys again. He's going to be going against the Ravens, so that should be pretty interesting. Start with me this time. I have the Ravens winning this game. It's not really going to be that close. 34-21 Ravens. And Coltrane, you're next.
I also have the Ravens. Baker is as Baker does. Ravens 28, Baker 14.
28-14. KF Christian.
So I think Baker Mayfield's going to wake up a little dangerous on Sunday. He's going to have a last-second drive to make the score 14-34. Ravens on top.
Oh, the little trickery there.
I had you in the first half.
Dude, I wrote an R for Ravens, and then I was making it into a P, and now I had to change it back to an R. So, all right, and Mikey P has the Ravens in this 27-13. All right. Final prediction, Browns at Bills. At the moment, the Bills are favored by 9.5. I think that line's going to change big time because I'm not even sure 9.5 points are going to be scored in this game. But Coltrane, we'll start with you. Browns at Bills. Who do you have?
Guys, I'm sorry. I have zero faith in my own home team. I got Bills 17, Browns 10. I just don't see it, guys. I'm like I said, I'm on suicide watch, man. It's pretty damn shame, dude. I love my team. I wear my heart on my sleeve, but man, I feel like that clown from the Joker movie. I really do.
It'll be okay. Just drink another Canada Dry.
There's always next year.
Only thing that helps, Jason. Only that helps.
All right, who we got next? KF Christian, go ahead.
I don't want to say this. Bills 13, Browns 10.
13-10. Mikey P has the Bills 20-6. And guys, I had the Bills. Like, before I saw this snowstorm rolling, I'm like, there is no way the Browns will even come close to the Bills. Like, there's no way. But our little miracle in the sky has arrived over Buffalo. And I have scratched out the Bills, and I am picking the Browns.
Let's go, Mikey.
18-12.
Let's go, Jason.
Because of our running backs, guys, I can't dismiss that. Like, I think that's huge. I really do. I think that's huge. Not even if it's snowing like that, not even Stefanski can
Are you putting up the
not
Batman
run
symbol?
Chubb. Huh?
You putting up the Batman symbol?
I am. It's already out there, brother. Look out the window. It's out. Yeah. You see it?
I see it. I see the gloom.
Good for you, Jason. We need more fans like you, my friend. Just respect.
You call me a fanboy, whatever. I'm going with
Can I change my answer?
the information that I have
Respect,
available. I can show you. I scratched out the Bills.
I'm going to change my answer. Browns
Respect,
934.
Oh,
Bills
here we
3.
go.
All right, guys. This has been an episode, an awesome episode, I think, of the Yard Dogs podcast, part of Network 216. For those that are watching, we have another show coming on after this, so make sure that you stay tuned for that. KF Christian, thanks for coming on. Any final thoughts for this week or tonight, this episode?
Yeah. Oh, waffles are better than pancakes. Nick Chubb is the best running back in the league. Go Browns.
Go Browns. Well, I like to end all of our podcasts with the Go Browns. Coltrane, love you, buddy. I really do. It's okay. I think that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. Deshaun Watson's coming back in a couple weeks. I think that we're really going to find out what our team is going to mold into for next year. Like, we have something to look forward to. It's just 2 weeks away. We have a snow game coming up. Those are always exciting, so it'll be okay, buddy. It'll be okay. But I like to end. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, if Watson does well in those 6 games, Jason, my frown will turn into a happy face, and I'll be partying in Miami with
Perrion Winfrey.
Come on,
Coltrane,
guys, let's get over here. We're 3-5,
He's
baby.
first team
Let's
all
go.
Barley House.
You get a beer. You get a beer. You
Yep.
get a beer. Is that what she does?
Yeah, that's what he does, I'm sure.
Yeah.
That's it, man.
That's right. Oprah. Okay. All right, guys. Well, I like to end all of our shows with the Go Browns. So, KF, Christian, if you'll join me, Coltrane, on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Go Browns.
Go Browns.
Go Browns.